Your influence around the country is impressive, and it's something that it's one of my main pillars, and I know that it's one of yours. And so
Yeah.
you're doing a hell of a job there. So keep doing what you're doing,
Oh,
right?
thank you
And
so much.
again, I
That's
see
all
you
so awesome to
again.
hear.
You and cousin Mo were chatting, and again, I think Mo is for me. I've got the utmost respect for that woman also because I think that her network from around the country. There's nobody who doesn't know cousin Mo, right?
Yeah, nobody.
And I'm finding the same. There's no one who doesn't know Danielle Jones, and I'm
Oh,
like, well,
wow.
how did I miss you? Now, were you in Atlanta?
Yeah,
Yeah, right. And I thought
I
so,
was
and I'm
all
like,
around that land. I was
right?
out there.
Yeah, and I was like, how did I miss her? And but more importantly, here's what I want to know from Atlanta, especially because I thought it was one of the best family reunions I'd attended in the last 3, 4 years for sure. But it was such a whirlwind. So, is there one or two things that really resonated with you, or that you took away, or that was an aha for you that we might be able to learn from?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, honestly. I think because I also felt the same. I feel like this by far was like my favorite family reunion that I've been to. And I think one of the main things, honestly, that I liked about it was the fact that I really had more time to actually just like sit down in small little random chit chats with people. And I know we all go to the big events and we do all the things and we're taking the pictures and all of that, which is awesome. But I mean, ultimately, it was nice to just be in these random little places, whether we went out for a quick lunch or whatnot, and to be able to just sit down and openly just talk with other agents and whatnot and build those relationships. That was huge. And then just going to the conference itself, of course, like going to those things. I know one of the main things I learned, I went to one of the luxury classes and it was awesome. Marlena, she's a huge agent that's over in like, I believe the DC area. And she was just talking about how she had kind of gotten into luxury. And for someone like myself, I honestly have not tapped into that market yet, but I know for sure at some point it'll come. And I love the fact that she said that she didn't get into luxury by just mingling with a bunch of luxury agents or trying to go out and fist bump with the rich people. Like she really started working with a lot of the trades, like the vendors that work with luxury people. So she was like, I went to the people who do the tiling for luxury homes. I went to, landscapers that do landscaping for luxury homes. And I started meeting and networking with those people. And, from there, she was like, I started referring those people to my clients, even though they weren't luxury, but I started having those landscapers do their landscaping and whatnot so that the time that came when these other vendors that she worked with needed a realtor and they obviously handle luxury clients, they're like, oh, let's go with Marlena. Like, she's been helping us, she's been sending us business. And I thought that that was something really cool that I had never heard from anyone that's in luxury before. So I thought that was like an awesome little aha moment for sure.
Absolutely. Well, and I know you, I think you get a lot of business from, I wouldn't say, your tradesmen. I think those that are in your network, and I thought I'd gotten that information maybe from you or from someone else through our research. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I think your vendor partners are so important to our business, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Now, I know. So, where in Arizona are you?
I'm, yeah, so I grew up in Gilbert, Arizona, which is in the East Valley. They used to call it like Cowtown. I mean, I think they still call it that. They're building so much out there, but it still is very farmy. But now I live in downtown Phoenix, and so I've been
Okay.
out here for a while. I absolutely, absolutely love it.
Yeah, well, that's great because it's my old real estate firm before I joined Keller Williams like 26 years ago was Realty Executives, and we were started and founded in the Phoenix Scottsdale area, and so for a number of years I was out there on business and making shows and stuff. So very familiar with that area and Camelback and all of that. So
Yeah.
and I think your post yesterday. I think you closed a veteran in Surprise, Arizona.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
congratulations. And so
Thank you so much.
do you do much military business or
Yeah, I do actually. I mean, my family, my dad was in the military, as well
okay.
as a lot of like my female cousins, which I always think is just the coolest thing. So yeah, they were in the military as well. So I definitely do military business, a lot of new construction, a lot of first time home buyers. Those are like my main little groupings of people.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
Surprise, Arizona. Here's an interesting question. Do you attend any of the Cactus League baseball games? Because the Texas Rangers, they have their camp, I guess, in Surprise, Arizona. So, do you do anything there?
Oh, no, actually, I don't. I have not been to any of the Cactus League
Okay.
games. I do need to get out there. I for sure do need to get out there and start seeing
Okay.
all the things.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that should be on your list. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I thought if I was ever out there, I'd catch a game because it's kind of family fun, really cheap.
Mhm.
So, and I think today we all need cheap experiences for sure, with the cost
Oh,
of
for sure.
everything being what it is. So, um, let's jump into something real quick because I think you had shared your experience working in was it hospitality or for a
Yeah.
hotel or something?
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I back years ago, I initially was working in like a ton of like restaurants and bars and things like that in like the Scottsdale and Tempe area. And then eventually I went to school for respiratory therapy, graduated. I just did not like it at all. So I was like, okay, let's pivot. So I pivoted and started working for hotels and resorts, which I absolutely love. And it was more so like boutique hotels, so like Kimptons, things like that. I also worked for Omni, which is like a really nice resort here out there in Scottsdale, the Monte Lucia. And that was where I really gained so much of the way that I've just learned to interact with clients and the way that I want their experience to be. Because if you've ever been to a Kimpton hotel or any of those types of areas, like they are so honed in on the guest and creating this amazing guest experience. And so I feel like my mind is always going in that sense where I'm always wanting to think one step ahead, like what's the next thing someone's going to need? Okay. And then once they get here, what's the next thing they're going to need? So that's played a huge part in my business. And then just also doing little things throughout the transaction that show that you're listening, that you care, that you're actually building a genuine bond with this person, something that's just real, not, all this over the top things, whatnot. Sometimes it is the simple things that matter the most to people. And so that's where I've gained a lot of that from. It's just honestly my time and working for hotels and resorts.
Right. Well, I think that reminds me of, you talked about luxury, and I think it's just a minute before you're in it because, I'm sure Mo can tell you, her journey into that. And I think we just posted one of her beautiful homes yesterday on our Millionaire Mondays. And so I think it's coming for sure, especially with I think the time and attention and the detail that I think that you place on relationships. It'll be coming this year. Um,
Yes. Claim it.
Yes, absolutely. And we have on, I guess next Wednesday, we've got Brady Sandoval coming here to our market center. And it's crazy because I had Brady on about a couple of years ago, having the same conversation. And I think, surprise and delight, that whole campaign is exactly
Yeah,
what you were just speaking about, right? Thinking one step ahead, maybe before they even realize they want this or need this,
exactly.
you've already thought about it and put those wheels into motion. So, guys, don't miss that. And I think it's what you're saying is it's the little bitty things that make a huge difference, right? It's not the Louis Vuitton bags and all that kind of, for me, it's kind of wackiness. I wouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
right.
It
But
looks
again,
cool. It looks cool when they show
right?
it on social media. I'm like, hey, that's you, but
Absolutely.
it's not my thing.
Not Ben Baker at all, but again, it's the little bitty things that make the big difference. So just keep doing you. So let's pivot real quick because of your experience with BBVA, right? BBVA or whatever
Yeah.
that financial institution, right? I'm sure there was a lesson or two that, working there that you gained. And then how does that all translate into your real estate business from the hotel and hospitality to financial services? Now you're in real estate. Clearly, it's had an impact on you.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Honestly, BBVA really taught me to let go of the things that don't serve you, and BBVA honestly did not. Like, I honestly went there not because I was like, oh, I really want to work at a bank. Absolutely not. I went there because I was working in hotels. I was laid off because the pandemic, had to pivot. And was jobless, obviously, as a lot of us were at that time, for about 6 months. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, I can get you into this bank. I was like, let's do it. I started working as a bank as a financial sales consultant. So I was like, okay, this sounds like a fancy little title. I have my little office, and yeah, I hated it. It was so boring. It was not me. It was just like it was really really bad times. But while I was there, of course, they're doing, there's the mortgage banker and things like that. So it kind of started getting me in that idea of like, okay, well, maybe I was like, I liked doing the sales at the hotels, being, a sales manager. I'm learning a little bit here about loans. I know I don't want to be a lender of any sort. That's not my thing. So I was like, maybe I could try the real estate thing out. I would just give it, a swing. And so, yeah, I started going to like the classes and whatnot for real estate, and just eventually, yeah, got licensed and went that route. At that time, I left BBVA and I had started working at a hospital because I knew that ultimately I didn't think it would be the best fit to work a job that required me to be there 5 days a week, 9 to 5. I knew if I went to the hospital, I could work there, 3 shifts a week, 12 hours, knock it out, and give this real estate thing a shot. So that's what I did. And so I pivoted over. But yes, BBVA was quite the memory.
Well, again, I think don't lose the message there that again, let go of things that don't serve you. And I think let go of people who also
Hmm.
don't support you, right? And I
Yeah.
think that's something I've had to learn the hard way, especially over this last 6 months or so. I think with the crazy political climate, and I won't get political, but I think as Destiny said here beside me, because we talk all the time, there's some folks that I've had to let go. I've had to
Yeah.
let go because they're not part of my tribe. They're not supporters, at all. So
Yeah.
let go and let God. Here we go. Let's go, babe.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
Right?
I let go of a decent amount of things, and I let go of a fiance. Then I let go of that job. I mean, I was shaking them off, because you're right. They were just people that, you got to get out of
Right?
here.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, it was just people that just didn't serve me. And so that also was what made the real estate transition a little bit different for me in the beginning of the year, in my first year, because yeah, I was engaged at the time. It was supposed to be this whole happy situation, and it was just everything that I felt was not that. And so I was dealing with this job shift and trying to get into real estate. I'm with this person that's not the most positive of people. And it's funny, I remember at the time when I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start trying to like post maybe a video on social media, and like, I don't know, just I'm trying anything. And I remember at the time that person was just like, that's just the dumbest thing ever. Like, people don't go to social media to buy a house. I don't like, he was just going on about all these things and saying so many reasons of why it didn't make sense. And it's just funny now because here we are years later, and I feel like I have gained so much from social media that it's just it's just crazy, honestly.
And that's and again, it's a real growth opportunity for me. I do expect that here in 2026, you'll see Ben Baker do a much better job. I think staying consistent, making sure that I'm relevant, and just staying connected. Because again, I think I've done a poor job. Others will say that it's been pretty decent, but I think my standards are pretty high, and this is one of the main things that I do, and I'm shocked that almost 6 years into it that I still have amazing guests like you that we can learn and grow from. So, and I'm hearing that I should show maybe a little personal side. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I at some point I will,
Yeah,
but
you should for sure do it. Show
yeah.
us what Ben's got going on
Well, it is
behind the
what's
behind the real
crazy,
estate and
right?
all of that stuff.
Well, my music, because Scott's on here. I'm a big jazz fan, or just live music fan. And
Same.
matter of fact, my biggest client appreciation event is on April 18th. It's my annual jazz experience, and we're finalizing that now. So I think you're probably seeing some social media
Yeah.
around that. But again, I know I've got to do a better job, and I will. I will, because you're going to challenge
I
me to do so. So,
Yes, yes. I think you're doing a great job. I mean, just the fact that you're doing this and to have done this over 6 years, whether you've been doing it every week or it skips a week, I mean, that in itself is consistency because so many people tap out so early. So
right.
I feel like even just doing that, and I was looking at your page and seeing all the things, and I saw the mention of like the jazz, and it's just little things like that that connect with people because I absolutely love music as well. So it's, those other parts of yourself that you share that really like stick with people.
Thank you. Well, I will. And I know Destiny, or she'll help me stay consistent. So, or you better. So I appreciate that. Um, let's see. From a business standpoint, I mean, you're known of creating kind of this stress-free client experience. What's one or two things that you feel you're doing maybe better than most, or is it just time and attention or time on task over? What is it?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the things that I feel like myself that I do great is really taking the time to sit down and educate people, which I honestly feel like is a game changer because it educates people and people love to learn and I love to help people and see them gain that knowledge. And I feel like it builds their confidence in the home buying or selling experience because they're up on certain things. And I know that's really helpful. And then also just taking the time to tell them what the market looks like. And I know just I say this because I've heard it from my clients where they say like, "Oh, dang, the other realtor that I worked with, they didn't tell me any of this. So what was really going on? They were just like, hey, let me stick a sign out there, let's go." And then they take off and they don't hear from them. And speaking of that, I'd also even just say communication. Like I really do make it a point to communicate with my clients as often as possible and give them updates with where we're at in the transaction. I do the same with my referral partners. They are super updated as to where we're going with things. So I think those are the main things: educating people, high level of communication, and yeah, really, like I said, just letting people know, my clients know what's going on in the market, so they can be aware if they're listing their house. Like heads up, right now, the average day here in Arizona and Phoenix, it's 86 days. Because I don't want someone calling me after 2 weeks, like, what do you mean this house hasn't sold?
Right.
We talked about this in the beginning. It could sell. And I had a listing I just put up recently that sold in 12 days. So, it can change, but it's
Yes.
nice to know what is going on to, kind of set those parameters and they know what's happening.
Yep. Setting the correct expectations is,
Yeah.
I think, especially today. And it's funny that that makes me pivot into a question that I had probably last, but I'm going to address it now.
Mhm.
So, what's one mindset shift, buyer for buyers and sellers right now in the market that you're trying to convey?
I'd say the mindset shift is just the fact that everything's honestly just a little bit different. I think that this is obviously a different time that a lot of us have seen, or at least me. I mean, I've been doing this now for 4 years. I can't say too much, but I think the mindset shift is just around for the sense of buyers, making them aware of the fact that, yeah, I know we call this a buyer's market, interest rates are not ideal, but are they able to get a little bit more from sellers at this moment? My people have, yeah. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that you can look at a house and be like, we want 100K off. Like we still have got to be reasonable and practical while still getting the best deal, but not just being outrageous. And then the same on the seller side, like there has to be that mindset shift of, this is what people are looking at. And I show everyone, like if I'm selling someone's house, I'm saying, hey, if I was working with a buyer's agent and I saw your house, I would also be looking at these homes. You're saying you want to be priced at this price point, but you don't have the pool, you don't have these other things. I'm going this way, and just kind of putting them on the other side of the table. I think that helps a lot in the sense of mindset shift and just realizing, like I said, this is a different time. This is not the time to be willing to lose a transaction over, you don't want to make this $100 repair. Make the repair. Let's stop trying to have an ego right now, or oh, I want to stick it to them. Stick it to who? What are we? We got to
Right.
get down to the point of what the actual goal is.
That's
So
right.
that's a lot of the mindset shift, honestly, in this here moment.
Yeah. And this too will pass. And
Yeah.
it could be next month or next year for sure that things are starting to turn around. And I just think again, it's our responsibility to educate folks that even even in this crazy market, even here in Texas, I mean, prices still went up. They went up just a little bit, right? Not a whole lot, not
Mhm.
seeing the same thing that we saw 3, 4, 5 years ago, but prices are still going up. And over the next 2, 3, 4 years, they're not expected to go that way at all. So you may as well, again, plant that tree today instead of 20 years
Yep.
ago, right? So,
Exactly. 100%.
right. Okay, so I'm so intrigued by this because I think so. We're going to talk community,
Yeah.
and I think with this company especially, we've got so many different communities. that you can connect with or be a part of. And one of my friends here found probably a year ago the adult ADHD community with Keller Williams, which I thought I never even heard of that. But this guy is medicated, right? He is all over the place, and he found a lot of value from that community. I mean, you're a proud, member of the Rainbow Network.
Mhm.
So speak on that, and how has that that community, I think, helped you with, it's so diverse, helped you
Yeah.
with, all of your clients and not just that community.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, being a part of the rainbow community has been a huge help, in all honesty. When I first initially got, I mean, it's funny, even when I first found out about the rainbow community, it was at a mega camp. And I remember I was in an elevator, I was headed down to the conference, and I saw a guy that had like a little pride lanyard on. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, does Keller Williams have a gay group? He's like, we do. I was like, I did not know that. And so he's like, are you like a member? Are you an ally? I was like, no, I'm like a member. He's like, oh my gosh, okay, let me get you connected. And so he got me connected, and that was absolutely amazing. Like I've met so many people through that group, and it's just been really nice to see how these agents are showing up and showing out and being, really just kind of a staple in their neighborhoods, in their areas, and letting people know, like, you are safe here with me. I'm going
Yeah.
to make sure that this experience is comfortable for you, that we're going to find you a great place, and that, just you're seen and you're recognized. And I think that's been a huge thing. Even when I had started doing like some of the social media stuff, which I really was never posting before I got into real estate, but that was one of the things I didn't feel like I should post about, because you get into real estate and you're like, okay, you don't know what's going to offend somebody, what's going to make
Yes.
someone think differently. And there's all these things that you're thinking of. And so I was like, maybe I should not post that, because someone may, who knows what. And then eventually you're just kind of like, folks, it is what it is.
Right.
If you care that much, then we weren't meant to work together. It doesn't matter. And it's you just kind of get so far past that. And it's nice because you connect with so many people, whether it may not be that person that is, a member of being, in the LGBTQ community. They may have a daughter or a cousin or something like that, and they're just reaching out to help that person find community within Arizona. It may not even be real estate related, because like, I don't care. It doesn't have, you don't have to sell a house to hit me up, And so it's nice to be able to connect with those people and help them find a place. And definitely the Rainbow Network has helped me just learn other ways to connect with people. And so I absolutely love it. And so many members from KWBRE and have, just reached out and just been like, okay, how can I like, come over and get to meet some of those people at this past family reunion. It was so awesome. And it meant a lot to me. A lot of the agents that I was hanging out with at a happy hour, they knew that I was going over to this Rainbow Network event. And they're like, can we come over there? And I was like, absolutely. I'm like, they would love to meet you guys. And so many people came over, and it was just nice to kind of bridge the gap a little. So it's awesome.
That's
I love all the communities within Keller Williams.
absolutely one that says so much about you, and it's interesting. I'd say the clients that I have that are really part of that community, we've connected because you said something that I had to write down. You are seen, and I think that's what's important to that community is that they're seen and they're heard,
Yeah.
and they understand the importance that they hold, not just with our business, but in our hearts and our communities. Our communities would not be what they are without this type of diversity. And again, I'm getting political again, but I think that, you know, um, this current administration, their attempts, it's horrible. It's
Yeah.
horrible, especially
To
when it
say the least.
comes
Yeah.
to that community, right? And we're not even talking real estate. We're not even talking real estate,
Yeah.
right? We're just talking being good human beings,
Just
being
a
good
human
stewards,
in the world.
right?
Yeah.
So, oh, we're going to do better. We're going to
Oh,
do our
yes.
part for sure, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly. No, I do agree with what you said, especially in this current time with everything that's going on, it really, I think, means so much more to people when even just when they're out and about and they see, I know the way I feel when me and my partner were out and about and we see a little area in a different state that we're visiting and we see like, oh, there's a little pride flag. There is something that just makes you feel like, okay, cool. Like we're like accepted there. Like this
Yes.
feels nice. It's not a stuck up kind of place. And so I make sure that my clients feel the same way. Like I have my big sold key for, all my clients, but then I recently had like a rainbow key made so that, if my clients that are a part of that community want to have like the pride key, like just different elements to show
Yes.
them that, they're noticed. And I think it just goes a long way. It's nice.
Well, I love you. I cannot wait to make sure, hopefully, if it's mega camp or a luxury event, that we actually get together and break bread,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I
So
would love
let's
that.
make sure that that happens. How much time we got? Okay, you got it. You got a couple of minutes. Is there a final message you'd love to impart on us, or are we good?
Let's think. I don't know. I think I'd say as a final message, one thing that's really resonated with me over the past year or so is just for any agents that are out there that are in the newer realm, which I feel like you're still considered new. Someone told me 7 years and below. Maybe it's true. I don't know. But whether you're day one or year four, like myself, any room or space that you're invited to, just don't question it. Don't just go. Just go because I feel like there's been rooms and places that I've been invited to and my first question is like, what are they calling me for? What do they want? I'm just like, what's
Yes.
happening? And I felt that way when at the Rainbow Network, they asked me to be on a panel to speak on, and it took me back. I even getting this message from you guys to get on here today. I was like, what? Does Ben want to talk to me? Because you just get, kind of shocked. But definitely people see so much in you. Don't question it, go with it, you'll figure it out, everything will work itself out, and just keep doing whatever it is that you're doing the greatest. Reach out for help. There's so many people around you that want to support you and want to pour into you. And then don't just let people pour into you, pour back, whatever
Yeah.
that is. Everyone needs help somewhere. You have been in this for a long time, and maybe there's things that you may have questions about with social media. Who knows? Maybe there's something I could help you out with. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, like always have your line available the same way that you want people to have their line available for you. So I think that's one of the major key things that I dropped the mic with.
Absolutely. And you did. And again, I think the point there is any room you find yourself in, you deserve to be there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So here we go. So
Yep.
I love it. You rock, my friend. You
Thank
rock.
you so
And
much. Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Well, and thank you for the message. Because again, I said if you didn't get a nugget from that, then that's a you problem. So,
Yep.
right?
They were dropped. They're out there. Hey.